All right, today is day 4 of the challenge, and I'm going to draw a dragon. Now, there was a couple of others on the list that were a lot easier, but I just love dragons. And so I imagine the dragon being in this kind of maybe infinity symbol. I'm just imagining it wrapped around, right? So here's a tip before you start drawing, is that you do what's called thumbnail sketches. Now I'm already drawing super small, right? This is a Post-it, and so here I'm just gonna draw some possible combinations of maybe how the dragon can go, right? And well, they're just looking like squiggly lines, and that's the point. And I just wanna make some maybe a little different and just kind of see what resonates with me. You know, I did imagine it being figure 8, but these top 3 are also cool. So again, I'm just gonna do 9 different symbols, essentially, of how the dragon can go. It can be in a kind of spiral like that. That would be kind of cool. And so these take very little time. And you know, each time you're trying to make it as different as possible. That's the point. And because they're so small, well, they're just super easy to do, and you can do them very fast. And yeah, it requires a little thought because you're looking at the others, but you can see I'm getting more courageous as I'm going along, which is kind of the point of this, is that you're basically asking questions. So you can see here, I started on the left here. I started on the left, and that's how I usually draw. And this time I'm gonna start on the right and at the bottom. And so you kind of challenge yourself to just do things a little differently every time. And again, the part of drawing is asking, what if the line goes this way? What if the line goes that way? What if I do something wild and crazy? Okay, so now I'm looking at these and I'm like, okay, which is gonna be my dragon drawing? And again, you could see how you could probably fill up an entire page of these. Okay, so I know technically we're doing 5-minute drawing, but I'm not counting this as part of my drawing. It's like the preliminary studies, as it were. And then now I'm going to, okay. Now we're gonna get a little crazy, as Uncle Bob Ross used to say. And now I'm looking at these and I'm thinking, okay, which one do I want? And again, you're being your own conceptual artist here, in that you concepted as many, you know, in this case, squiggly lines as possible. And then you kind of pick your favorite ones, as a director would on a movie, right? So, and I can do this in a regular pen, just so it's not conflicting with more red marks. So I like this one, and I like this one the best. Again, you're changing roles in this process from conceptual artist to, you know, director. And it, you know, just allows you to shift your mind in the process of drawing. Okay, so now I'm like, okay, I have this one here and I have this one here. Which one do I like best? I think I'm gonna go with this guy here. It's a little bit more complex, but anyway, so I have that, and that's gonna be right there at the bottom. And then now I'm going to basically, I'm going to do like a bigger, thicker kind of shape. So I'm redrawing the shape, right? And I know that the head is gonna go here. And now basically, and I could probably use a thicker marker for this, but I'm just gonna thicken the line as it goes. And this is where, potentially, if all you had was, say, this pen that I'm using, you're starting to realize, hey, it might be good for me to acquire a marker, right? Again, I'm kind of teaching this challenge, going about it for the absolute beginner artist in mind who only has Post-its and or just blank sheets of paper and basic office pens around. But even this works, right? This is the whole point of this. Okay, so now, I want to get an open mouth. So, as I mentioned before, I've drawn dragons before, and dragons are based off of snakes and other reptiles and serpent creatures in the world. And, I want this dragon to have horns because horns are cool. So essentially I'm creating a silhouette here. And, as you go, you're thinking of new ideas. This is why drawing is so cool with like problem solving generally in life, right? Okay, so we got this dragon and he's roaring, and okay, maybe this is turning out to be much more of a, say, logo, which is cool because, again, it's whatever you want to make it. So maybe this dragon has these kinds of spikes on the back, and it's allowing me to fill up. The cool thing about dragons is that, again, you start with a snake and then you just start putting other shit on it. Dragons can have claws and legs. So, again, I'm not getting into absolute details with anatomy and things, but the dragon is a great way to learn how to draw other things, in that you can literally draw it as I started out, as you saw, as a squiggly line stick figure. Okay, another leg can go on the other side. Now I know I'm past 5 minutes. Again, the 5 minutes is the minimum thing for all of this. If you have an hour to spend in your drawing, wow, what a great way to spend your day. I know a lot of people who want to take their art more seriously, and they say they just can't find the time. It's like, it's not about finding time, it's about making the time. Everyone that you know has the same amount of time. Unless there's some people that have time machines or time pausing machines, in which case, well, good for them. But regular folk like us, and I mean that as a good thing. I'm a regular folk, just like all of you. A lot of times people ask me, like, where do you find the time to do your art? And I say, I make the time. And so there's an art to that. There's an art to everything. An art to making time. What does that even mean? Well, you look at your schedule, and let's say you have a regular day job, a 9 to 5. Okay, well, that's taken up there, right? Well, what are you doing at lunchtime? This is where sacrifices need to be made, for your art. When I was working as a toy designer for The Simpsons, and I was getting into conceptual art and learning the computer. I mean, that's what I did at lunch. I learned how to do all of this other stuff. And that meant not going out to lunch with my friends a lot. And, there's a bit of loneliness in that process. But again, you have to ask yourself, why are you doing it? It's because you love the thing, right? And you want to get better at it. And the only way to get better at it is by dedicating time. And this is the only thing. Ask any athlete or any musician. And then, well, of course, I'm big on talking about the healing and the mental benefits of creating art, which studies are out there that going to one creative workshop a month, let's say it's like an hour-long workshop, will have massive health benefits in the long run. And so there's just something about being creative and being around other creative people. It could even be going to like a museum once a month. There's something about inspiration and creativity that is healing and life-affirming. And the more we do it, the more fulfilled our lives will be. Again, you can just go and look at art. But how about doing one better than that and making your own art? Okay, so you see I added the border, which again adds a cool little frame within the frame. Okay, I'm about 11 minutes into this. I took 3 minutes to concept it out, so I'm like 7 minutes into this drawing. And again, I'm thinking of like, God, I want to add like an environment. I want to add some mountains back there. Again, mountains are super simple. I mean, just triangles to begin with. And see, there's the power of 3. This is getting into design principles. Notice how I made these triangles all 3 different shapes and heights. You can even see it happening on the dragon. There's 1, 2, apparently 3 loops, right? You don't always have to have that, but the power of 3. Watch, I'm going to do it right now with 3 clouds. I'm going to put a happy little cloud there, happy little cloud there, different sizes, right? Different lengths. I can fill up my frame with 3 different sizes. And again, you don't always have to do that, but it's a good place to start. And I can break that rule. This is a rule that can be broken. A lot of rules in art can be broken. See, I put another one back there. And now I'm imagining hatching just lines through these mountains. So again, this is turning out to be more of a logo or a graphic design, more so than a drawing, but it's more of a hybrid. Coming up with something that is pure silhouette, like I'm doing here. It's more logo based. It's sometimes a lot trickier because you're being very simple in the process. And people might see logos and think, that's so simple, anyone can do that. Well, not really. A good logo is very tricky to make. All right, I'm 13 minutes in. It's a good lucky number, and I can continue with this, and I might ink it later, but the basic thing is there. And again, the whole point of this, guys, is that if all you had was 5 to 20 minutes to create art, amazing. And I'm doing this thing first thing in the morning now. It is around 7 o'clock here in beautiful Texas. And now I've done my drawing. There's a sense of accomplishment. And again, it's like, what is finished, what isn't? I don't know, this is definitely not finished, but it's a concept for a new piece. And of course, I'm gonna date it. I encourage you guys to date all your drawings for this challenge at least, right? Sometimes I don't date all of my drawings that I do all the time because I don't consider them as finished as I want. I'll date them when I'm more finished, and sometimes I'll even sign it. I encourage you guys to even sign your drawings here because I'm doing this so small, I'm not gonna sign these. But that is day 4. Thank you guys for watching. Hope some of this was useful, and would love to see you guys post your drawings in your stories and tag Infinite Artist. and tag me if you want. I'd love to see your drawings. I'm just so happy that you guys are doing these daily drawings. It makes me very happy to see other people produce art, because I've been so blessed to do it my entire life. All right, love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.